80,000 visas gone. In less than a year, the Trump administration wiped out the legal status of tens of thousands of foreign nationals living in America. Some were criminals. Others, they posted the wrong thing online. What started as a crackdown on lawbreakers quickly became something far more controversial. And if you're on a visa or know someone who is, what's happening right now should terrify you. The numbers tell a story most people aren't hearing. 16,000 people lost their visas for driving under the influence, 12,000 more for assault, another 8,000 for theft. These three categories alone account for nearly half of all revocations since January. On the surface, it sounds reasonable. Criminals getting kicked out. But here's where it gets complicated. The State Department isn't just going after people with fresh charges. They're digging through records, pulling up old cases, and retroactively punishing visa holders for offenses that happened years ago, sometimes before they even entered the country. But criminal records are just the beginning. Over 6,000 student visas were revoked for overstays and breaking the law. A small number of those students were flagged for what officials called support for terrorism. The administration didn't define what that support looked like. No context, no specifics, just a vague accusation that destroyed their futures in America. And if you think this only affects students with serious violations, think again. The criteria for revocation have expanded so far that almost any misstep can now put your visa at risk. Then there's social media. At least 6 people had their visas yanked over comments they made online about the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Not threats, not calls to violence, just comments. The State Department rolled out stricter social media vetting protocols this year, and they're not messing around. Every post, every like, every share is now under scrutiny. Foreign nationals are being judged not just by their actions in America, but by their digital footprint across the globe. One wrong opinion, and you could be on the next flight out. Secretary of State Marco Rubio took things even further. In May, he admitted to revoking the visas of hundreds, possibly thousands of people, including students, because of involvement in activities he claimed went against U.S. foreign policy priorities. What kind of activities? Protesting, activism, speaking out. Rubio didn't specify, but the message was clear. If your politics don't align with the administration's agenda, your visa is expendable. Student visa holders and even green card holders found themselves targeted for supporting Palestinians and criticizing Israel's conduct in the war in Gaza. The administration labeled this criticism as a threat to U.S. foreign policy and accused these individuals of being pro-Hamas. The new directives sent to U.S. diplomats abroad are chilling. They've been ordered to stay vigilant against any applicants Washington sees as hostile to the United States. And here's the kicker. Having a history of political activism is now considered a red flag. It doesn't matter if that activism was peaceful or legal. If you've ever spoken out against a government, attended a protest, or voiced dissent online, you're potentially on their radar. The State Department is treating political engagement like a crime, and foreign nationals are paying the price. So who's really at risk here? It's not just criminals anymore, it's activists, students, critics, people who thought their legal status protected them are finding out the hard way that it doesn't. You can hold a valid visa, follow every rule, pay your taxes, and still get deported because of something you said online or a protest you attended years ago. The line between legal immigrant and deportation target has never been thinner, and the administration isn't slowing down. They're expanding the definition of who deserves to stay and who doesn't. And right now, that definition is dangerously broad. Here's what nobody's talking about: the chilling effect. Foreign nationals in America are deleting social media posts, avoiding political discussions, and staying silent on issues they care about because they're scared. And can you blame them? When 6 people lose their visas over online comments, when students get labeled as terror supporters for criticizing a foreign government, and when thousands are deported for decade-old DUIs, fear isn't irrational, it's survival. The message is clear. Keep your head down, stay quiet, or risk everything. This isn't just about immigration policy anymore. It's about control. It's about using visa revocations as a tool to silence dissent and punish people for beliefs the administration doesn't like. And the scariest part? There's no clear standard. No one knows exactly where the line is. What's acceptable today could get you deported tomorrow.